Hey guys, welcome back. We're reading Matthew chapter 13. We're going to jump straight in. If you like this type of content, leave a like, leave a comment, and please subscribe. It helps the channel grow. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care. All right, team. Matthew chapter 13. Let's go through it. The parable of the sower. The same day Jesus went out of the house and sat by the lake. Such large crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat in it, while all the people stood on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, A farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. But when the sun came up, the plants were scorched, and they were withered because they had no root. Other seed fell among the thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Still other seeds fell on good soil, where it produced a crop 100, 60, or 30 times what was sown. Whoever here has ears, let them hear. The disciples came to him and asked, Why do you speak to people in parables? He replied, Because the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them. Whoever has will be given more, and they will have abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. This is why I speak to them in parables. Though seeing they did not see, though hearing they did not hear or understand. In them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. You will be ever hearing but never understanding. You will be ever seeing but never perceiving. For the people's heart has become calloused. They hardly hear with their eyes, and they have closed their hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed their eyes. Otherwise, they might see with their eyes and hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn. I would heal them. Now that's just a massive point, just to touch on real quickly. There is, doesn't this sound like today, right? Doesn't this sound like us right now, ourselves? Have we become calloused in our hearts? Think about that. Have we become callous to our beliefs? Are we quick to deny something without checking it, without searching, without putting an effort to research, study, and look into these things, right? Because if you read in this verse here, where it's stating, you will be ever hearing but never understanding. You'll be ever seeing but never perceiving. For this people's hearts has become callous. They hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed their eyes. Right? Otherwise, they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, and understand with their hearts. It's that same point, right? Where sometimes people are just callous to having an open mind. All right. And that's okay. Right. Like that just happens. And that is just, life can do that to someone. They can really callous the heart. But we have to always be keeping an open mind, always be learning, always be keeping an open mind. When we hear new things, when we take on, new understandings of certain things, we need to sit back and really listen to it and think, when you hear a thought come up going, nah, don't believe that shit. Don't believe that crap, right? It's going, where is that coming from, right? Is that based on fact, or is that based on emotion and a callus that's building in my heart, or has been built in my heart? So just keep that in mind, because if Jesus was talking about that 2,000 years ago and that's still happening today, I mean, he's talking about something that we continuously go through as a culture and as, I guess, humanity. So let's keep going. But blessed. Okay. But blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. For truly I tell you, many prophets and righteous people long to see what you see, but did not see it, and to hear what you hear, but did not hear. Listen then what the parable of the sower means. Here we go. When anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in their heart. This is the seed sown along the path. The seed falling on rocky grounds refers to someone who hears the word at once, receives it with joy, but since they have no root, they last only a short time. So just to touch on that piece even in particular, right? That's massively stating towards, and this happens to me, don't get me wrong, the amount of times I've joined stuff and I've started things and I've quit those things, right, happens because you've got no root. You enjoy it, you're like, oh my goodness, I love this sport, I love this activity, I love this brand new thing I'm doing, right? But then after a little time, when it becomes a bit hard, or when, the interest fades away and that peak fades away, that's when you start going, nah, it's not for me. I'm not interested. I don't care about that sort of thing anymore, right? And that's why we have to make sure that we always return back to the word, because we will always get demotivated, go through highs and lows, ups and downs. But what I always found is that the word never changes, and we can always come back to certain parables, certain verses, and be brought back to God and grounded in that foundation. So just keep that in mind. Where were we up to? But since they had no root, they only last a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away, like I was just saying then. The seed falling among the thorns refers to someone who hears the word, but the worries of their life and the deceitfulness of wealth choke the word, making it unfruitful. But the seed falling on good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands it. This is the one who produces the crop, yields 160 or 30 times what was sown. Now, this piece here, but the seed that's falling on good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands it. I'm new to this as well, right, in my faith journey. But as I read this, the more I understand is that the more we go back and we reread the word, we look more into the word, we get more understanding. But if we only look at something once, how are we meant to understand it? How are we meant to read it and fully digest it? Especially when we're such complex humans, right? How are we meant to understand those certain things unless we're putting in the effort to learn, study, research, right? And the last part that he's touched on here, just before that, um, when troubled person can yet fall away. The seed falling among the thorns refers to someone who hears the word, but the worries of life and deceitfulness of wealth choke the word, making it unfruitful. Right? Listen to this piece that I literally just heard from Johnny Chang, and I just wrote it down today. Okay? He says this: why do we keep turning to our own works? Because belief is too simple for us. We naturally want to contribute to God. Satan goes, "Hey, you think it's that simple? No, you better do something." Our flesh craves validation and contribution. We rather do something than trust. That's our default, right? And so what he's saying there is, why do we keep turning to our own works, right? Why do we keep going? Instead of having faith and having our own trust, we start going, nah, like I've got to figure it out. Nah, it's up to me. Like it's my own world. I've got to figure it out. And it's because we scroll certain things, we look at certain things that make us go, oh shit, it's not happening for me today. I need to figure it out. I don't have that car. That kid's got a car. That kid's got this. That kid's got that. Oh, this faith stuff's not working. I've got to figure it out myself. I've got to do something myself. And that's what leads us down this rabbit hole that then makes us push faith to one side and makes us push our works to the other side, right? And that's when this divide starts happening, going, it's me that's doing it, it's not God, right? And that's what builds. And then it says in here, because belief is too simple for us, we naturally want to contribute to God. And Satan goes, and Satan's what pulls on this goes, hey, you think it's that simple? No, you better do something. You better do more. It's not, you can't just have faith. You better do more work, right? God wants you to do more work, right? And our flesh craves validation and contribution. We'd rather do something than trust something, right? That's our default. And that's from Johnny Chang. And that literally just pulls into to this piece here, which we have to be careful of, is the seed falling among the thorns refers to someone who hears the word, but the worries of life and deceitfulness of wealth choke the word, making it unfruitful. So it's just bearing that in mind. As we go through life, we need to ensure that we lean on God. We don't lean on what's it called, the material world and the things of material. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible about having wealth, money, is a bad thing. But it's, do we seek money, wealth, fame as our God, right? As our validation of worthiness from other people versus our worthiness to God, right? And if our validation we're continuously seeking is of other people, we've got to look at ourselves and go, okay, how can we improve on this, right? Next piece, the parable of the weeds. Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field, but while everyone was sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat and went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed heads, then the weeds also appeared. The owner's servants came to him and said, "Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where then did the weeds come from?" Enemy did this, he replied. The servant asked him, do you want us to go out and pull them up? No, he answered, because while you are pulling the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. At that time, I will tell the harvesters, first collect the weeds and tie them in bundles to be burned, then gather the wheat and bring it into my barn. The parables of the mustard seed and the yeast. He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Okay, though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds come and perch in its branches. He told them still another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough. Jesus spoke all these things to the crowd in parables. He did not say anything to them without using a parable, so was fulfilled what was spoken through the prophet. I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things hidden since the creation of the world. The parable of the weeds explained. Then he left the crowd and went into his house. His disciples came to him and said, explain to us the parable of the weeds in the field. He answered, the one who sowed the good seed is the Son of Man. The fields is the world, and the good seed stands for the people of the kingdom. The weeds are the people of the evil one, and the enemy who sows them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the age, and the harvesters are the angels. As the weeds are pulled up and burned in the fire, so it will be at the end of the age. The Son of Man will send out his angels, and they will weed out his kingdom, everything that causes sin and all who do evil. They will throw them into the blazing furnace, where they will be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. Then the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Whoever has ears, let them hear. The parable of hidden treasure. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it. Parable of the net. He's just dropping bars at the moment, right? So once again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was let down into the lake and caught all kinds of fish. When it was full, the fishermen pulled it up on the shore. Then they sat down and collected the good fish in baskets, but threw away the bad. Threw the bad away. This is how it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come and separate the wicked from the righteous and throw them into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. Have you understood all these things? Jesus asked. Yes, they replied. He said to them, therefore, every teacher of the law who has become a disciple in the kingdom of heaven is like the owner of a house who brings out of his storeroom new treasures as well as old. When Jesus had finished these parables, he moved on from there. Coming to his hometown, he began teaching the people in their synagogues. So bear in mind, we talked about this in a previous, right? It literally just went from him talking to when Jesus had finished these parables, he moved on from there, coming to his hometown. That's probably like what? 2 days later, 3 days later. And it's all these little things where we don't really see what happened in that 2, 3 days, right? What happened when he was going from place to place from time to time with him and his disciples, because you don't really see that, right? You don't really see all the actual individual little things that he done, because it is very quick moving on from step to step. But it's just fascinating. It's fascinating stuff. All right, let's finish off where we're at. We're nearly done. Coming to his hometown, he began teaching the people in their synagogues, and they were amazed. Where did this man get this wisdom, these miraculous powers? They asked. Isn't this the carpenter's son? Isn't his mother's name Mary? And aren't his brothers James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas? Aren't all his sisters with us? Where then did this man get all these things? And they took offense at him. But Jesus said to them, a prophet is not without honor except in his own town and in his own home. And he did not do miracles there because of their lack of faith. And that is the end of Matthew chapter 13. So if you like this, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the series as we're going along. We're a new channel starting out, so appreciate any sort of feedback, any sort of update and support on the channel. And we will see you at Matthew chapter 14. Have a lovely day. Take care.